Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. You're listening to Chat to Me with your host Sulaiman Meer on Ramadan Radio 87.9 FM and online ramadanradio.org. We're also streaming on Facebook. So if you wanted to check out my jubba that my wife ironed for me earlier, you can go ahead and do that. Please feel free to call, text, or WhatsApp your feedback and sending questions and comments about our topic today on 077 614 60 614. I'll repeat that. That's 077 614 60 614. Our topic today is screen time and the problems it can cause physically to the body and specifically to the eyes. With that in mind, I have a very special guest today, Sister Asia Begum, who is an optometrist, an entrepreneur, and the co-founder of a company called Elev. Luckily for Sister Asia today, this is a Zoom call, so it's not face to face, as my breath is kicking right now because of the fast. So, Sister, how has Ramadan been for you guys?
Alhamdulillah, Ramadan is going okay. It's actually going surprisingly fast. So I'm quite happy with that. But it's been going okay. So this Ramadan has been a little bit different for me in comparison to previous ones. I've got two children.
Okay.
Two under twos to be specific. So
Oh,
it's
mashallah. Okay.
a lot more taxing, tiring. But alhamdulillah, Allah makes it easy. It's not.
Yeah. That's good, mashallah. That's good. We're on the topic of screen time specifically today, and you're an optometrist. So can you tell us a bit about specifically blue light filtering for our eyes and what damage it can cause for us, and how ways in which we can avoid it?
Yes. So we initially began LV. It was quite a personal experience actually. So with lockdown, a lot of us have been using the screens a lot more. Be it children, be it adults, work, home, everything gets into one, and you'll probably find yourself in front of the screen, TV, your phone, your laptop. When you're not even at work, you're still on some sort of device, and especially in lockdown, the sort of rise in that. My husband then came to me, and his friend, we were sort of chit-chatting and talking about it and saying, oh my gosh, we're in this sort of tech gen world, what we're going to do, how we're going to get around this. And he was sort of saying he's got headaches. One of the things I recommend to my patients a lot of the time is our blue light glasses. The idea is blue light, short wavelength light that is emitted in volume from our screens and devices. It is also there in the natural sun and in artificial lighting, sort of your light bulbs. But when we're exposed to a lot of it, particularly in the night time, it can suppress a hormone which is responsible for our sleep pattern. So our sleep then gets disrupted. And as you can imagine, if you've not got any sleep, you're a bit of a sleep monster, what they say, right? So it's a little bit of a cycle. So the following day, you'll feel the effects of that, the headaches, the eye strain, that sort of thing. Then again, you're on your screen, so you're getting more of this blue light and you're going round and round in circles. So when my husband started saying, of course, he was on screens all the time in lockdown, and he was sort of saying, I'm getting these headaches, my sleep being affected. I just don't feel productive. I feel like, it's hindering on my productivity. So I said, try some blue light glasses, try it and see what you think. And he bought a pair off Amazon, like a quick, cheap pair. And they actually made a difference. And I said, yeah, a lot of my patients say the same thing, that it makes a difference. And so we thought, why do we not bring this? This must be a problem that people are facing nationwide, because we are in the lockdown. It's something that he's presented to me, but it's something that people are probably suffering, I say, quietly, or not saying anything about, just thinking, oh, I've got a headache, or I've got to get back to work, that sort of thing. So we decided to band together. He's got some experience in marketing and I've got somewhat knowledge in the optometry industry.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Merge that together to bring about Elev, and that's where the whole blue light, specializing blue light, comes from.
Yeah, but it's funny you mentioned that, because I literally did the same thing. I purchased one. I think I wasn't as special to get it from Amazon. I think I got it from Wish.com. And it was funny because I got the glasses, and one of the things that people used to say is there's kind of like a glare on the screen. But I've noticed a lot of the pictures that you guys have on your socials, there's not much glare. So it's cool that you've been able to tackle that. It's interesting that you've chosen to actually open a business during a pandemic. A lot of businesses have kind of, a lot of plans for businesses in general have actually kind of come away from opening.
Postponed.
postponed from actually opening within the
Yeah, I mean,
pandemic. And
for businesses, it's definitely a very temperamental climate.
yeah,
You don't know what's going to go. There's no sort of algorithm, or it's not in the normal ways or progressing in the normal ways that it was. Um, but we had to brave it because this is something that is required now. That's the first thing. The
yeah,
solution is for a problem that is appearing now. That's the first.
okay,
Um, that's the, the solution. Sorry,
that's okay.
sorry. I'm so sorry.
That's
Kids
completely fine, no problem.
on the screen. There you go. But yeah. So we just went head on and we thought we need to tackle this problem now, and that was really what motivated us to get going and to start and to build up and to just almost run before we can walk. Just go head on 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Brave it. Like I said, it's a temperamental climate. Absolutely, it was logistically a challenge. Of course, it still is logistically a challenge.
Yeah.
Quantities, products, inventory, things like that. When you're actually dealing with an e-commerce business, you've got a physical product that needs to go from one place to another, and you have a lot of back and forth. COVID
Mm.
restrictions. This will come late. This will arrive in this time, but we want to launch at this time. But we want this and this. So there's a lot of those things. But I guess there's always wisdom, and there's always the silver lining, because I think the
Definitely, yeah.
challenges prepare you better.
So one of the things I wanted to ask, actually, because I've noticed a lot of young children that are wearing glasses now, and I'm seeing a lot more of it. Like before, like a few years back, it wasn't something that you just kind of take notice of, but now that you kind of become aware of, counteracts to become aware of like stuff like blue light filtering glasses. Is there like a market as well for children as well? Because children are spending a lot of time on on
When I
phones and
practice, I mean, the amount of children that I see, and I'm starting to say I've got to prescribe glasses for you.
yeah,
For when you're using the screens, I've got to do that just to protect your eyes more
yeah,
so the sight problem, but protect yourself from any harmful rays because of the time prolonged periods that you're using. Absolutely, there's a market there. The reason why the children's sector hasn't been tapped into as such is
yeah.
the children, their eyes are still malleable, if that makes sense, or it's changing as they
They're still developing, yeah.
still developing. Their brains are still developing. Their wiring, the mechanisms, everything's still developing. So to prescribe something and then a couple of months down the line they might need something different, it somewhat becomes a bit of a difficult task to do, especially for like ourselves. We're predominantly at the moment online, so we're not physically seeing these children to make sure that
I
things are
see, yeah.
working correctly, right powers, making sure the child, that sort of thing. With adults, a lot of the time, prescription wise or eye wise, your brain is already set in stone.
So how does a prescription, if you don't mind me asking, how does a prescription work in terms of, you've got, say for example, you've got someone that wears glasses. I don't personally wear glasses themselves. I'll wear blue light filtering glasses, but how is it done where it's kind of infused into one, like the
Yeah.
glasses of prescription and
So
then blue light filtering?
the idea is obviously when you have your glasses, it's like a lens, the lens itself.
Yeah,
So the clear lens itself, we apply, or the manufacturers will apply the filter on that lens.
I
It's
see.
actually on that lens. If you I don't know if you've got like screens, laptops, things like that. You of course you do.
I've
Everyone
got
does.
like 5 around me right now.
Everyone does. But you'll see on settings you can also have a lot of the screens will have blue light or like protection. It's a similar process. It's almost like a filter that is applied on the top of the screen or on the top
See.
of the lens in this case.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. Because I wanted to ask as well: is there like do sunglasses block the same light that the blue filter is, or
So
are they different?
sunglasses slightly different. They're designed to block UV radiation. That's
Okay,
predominant sunglasses. So the UV from the sun is basically what sunglasses are designed to block. So no, can we do it? Potentially. Is it something we're looking into? You never know.
it's true.
So yeah,
It's definitely something, because the gaming industry, for example, is something that pretty much 80%, 90% of children are doing from a young age. Whether they're playing games on an iPhone or going onto a PlayStation or Xbox or even PC, the gaming industry itself is kind of is so out there, and that is something that, you know, there's we're even recommended to change. You know, some gamers are kind of recommended. I was researching this, and they're recommended to change the blue light filtering settings on the actual screen that they're
Yeah,
using, or because it's something that we're not really made aware of. Then on top of that, we're getting these symptoms, and we're like, okay, well,
where
it,
and how, where does it come from, what can we do, and how do we help? Yeah, absolutely. There's obviously things you can do. Having what we call, in terms of protecting your eyes when you're on the screens, there's
yeah,
things. So there's such a thing as called, which is called the 20-20-20 rule. So
okay,
the idea is every 20 minutes when you're on a screen, every 20 minutes you look away for 20 seconds. That's something 20 meters away. It's meant to give your eyes that little bit of break, that little bit of leeway, just to recuperate from, you know, staring. Because when we stare at screens, we quite literally do that. We blink almost 70 times less than we would have done. And there's
wow,
components like our T film and things like that,
yeah,
which integrate, and then it causes strain and whatnot, the headaches. So yeah, and one of the key factors then is blue light filter on the screens. Like I said, you're probably seeing your settings. You can put on light mode and night mode, things like that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
These are all, these are the things incorporated, but obviously with more and more use, these are not just sufficient anymore. We need more protection, and that's
Of
where
course, yeah.
will help.
So back on this 20-20-20 thing,
Yeah.
you mentioned that you kind of look on a screen and then what, you look away and focus on something else, or just focus at,
Just so you just quite literally, I'll show you right now.
yeah,
Um, I say I'm staring at the screen right now. So
hmm,
for 20 seconds, I'll look 20 meters away every 20 minutes.
okay,
Okay.
but and you focus on something else, or is it just kind
I
of
mean, you
like,
can, you can look around the room. You can, I don't know, read a book.
yeah, yeah,
You can see, but it's just taking your eyes away or giving
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
a little bit of break. I personally, I'm making this up. I call it conscious blinking. It sounds really, really plain and simple and quite idiotic,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
conscious blinking is actually, and I've told you that, and I know you're going to start actually physically consciously blinking.
Literally, when you were saying, when you mentioned something, I blinked about 4 times within the space of maybe like two
So what
seconds. I
happens,
just started blinking. Yeah,
the tear film itself, which covers the whole front of your eyes, it regenerates. So every time you blink, that
yeah,
tear film becomes brand new. It gets replenished. If you have a sort of a nice replenished tear film, you'll get the light rays when they hit will bend correctly. They refract correctly. So
right, okay,
it's all physics. So the light rays hit that layer of the tear film and they'll bend. Every layer they hit, they'll bend.
yeah,
Of course, if that tear film layer is sort of distorted, then the light rays are sort of going here and there, and you're sort of now starting to rub your eye.
rubbing my eyes.
You
Everything you're saying, I'm starting to do. I'm starting to blink more. I'm
make
starting to rub my eyes.
just about being aware that there is something out there to help.
Yeah,
And
definitely, much of that.
and
It's
and,
it's
and
really good that you go. Sorry, go.
no, you go.
It's really amazing that you've kind of come up with this, the idea behind actually having a trendy side as well towards having the glass, because that's one of the things that I
Yeah.
noticed when I wore the glasses. I was like, I'm not wearing these if I go outside, but
So
in your business, for example, you've actually managed to
yeah,
incorporate the
yeah.
trendy side of things.
There's been a lot of work behind it,
Okay,
but a lot of what we wanted to touch upon is, I don't know about you, but when we were younger and someone wore glasses, they sort of look like four eyes, or you get
four
called
eyes,
names.
four eyes.
Or,
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I don't know, but you sort of say like, oh, that person can't see, or we sort of got those things that we wanted to take away from them. Now it can be something different. It can be a fashion accessory.
yeah,
It can make you feel better. And in claustrophobic or tight climate with this COVID and not feeling like yourself and being cooped up, you want something that makes you feel and look 10 foot tall, because
yeah.
it makes you feel like once you feel better in yourself, you can be the best version of yourself. We believe anyway. And we go by the tagline, so elevate your mind, elevate your style, because it's all part and parcel of you. And that's why I don't know about you, but you put on a pair of glasses, you suddenly feel really intelligent. You suddenly feel like you can pace through all the
You
work
look more intelligent.
and
Yeah.
feel the part. And we were trying to touch upon that, keeping it in fashion, keeping it in trend. We work with a lot of influencers as well. So
Okay.
they obviously are influential in terms of trend setting or knowing what's in fashion. So we've had a lot of back and forth, what people like, what people don't,
Yeah.
what will suit different styles, what also suits different styles in terms of hijab, what is sort of suits different,
Okay.
what sort of suits different age ranges. So there was a lot of feedback in terms of market research. So we did
Yeah.
to try and get it right, because I know when my husband bought that pair from Amazon, he wasn't very happy, and we've
I
had
wasn't either. Yeah, I
people
wasn't
said,
either.
I bought them from Amazon or wherever you do buy them, but they didn't look good. So we wanted to maintain that aspect of looking good and feeling good, as well as that functionality, blend them together and have a product that actually you look at and you think, I like this. This is quite simple. I like it.
It's
I'll buy it.
it's true, because it's actually quite important. To be fair, you said you work with a lot of influencers, but at the same time, while doing that, they're actually putting the message out there and saying, we need to be aware of this. We need to be made more aware of the harmful, rays that are hitting our eyes on a day, on a almost a 24/7 basis, and because of not just because of COVID, but even before COVID and after, it's going to be the same. People are going to be on their phones more, and
It's simple. It's, what do you do first thing in the morning? You reach for your phone. What do you do just before you go to sleep? You look at your phone. And
that's it.
if that doesn't say what the situation is,
Yeah,
I'm not sure what will, but it's as simple as that. We are in a tech generation. We
yeah,
are this new, I say new era, where these things are more prominent and present in our lifestyles. It's only probably going to get more involved in our day-to-day activities, um, from my personal understanding. So yeah, so that's why we wanted to get that message out, make people aware. It's in all honesty, it's just about benefiting somebody else, because
yeah,
the
yeah,
people, if you want to make that change, or if you want to benefit, and I've seen the benefit, I've got patients who actually say to me,
yeah.
works, this helps. I mean, you've got to pay yourself, you probably can say it has helped. My husband has said to me it helps.
It
Do you
helps.
know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it
So it's
does.
about actually just making people aware that we've got a solution to a problem.
Yeah, and yeah, I do really like the look of the look at the glasses you guys have. So I'll definitely look at getting a pair for myself. But the other thing is, I wanted to ask, what's it like working with a lot of influence and seeing the product out there and seeing just in general, and like the work that you've been doing aside from the business, just the work that you've been doing to actually get the message out there. What's it been like seeing that on a lot of people out there on Instagram?
When I remove myself from sort of the business side of it, the
Yeah,
cost, that sort of side,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
this product is actually out there, people are speaking about blue light, or people are speaking about Elev. It's actually quite I say a humbling moment. You stop and you think, you can do it. I feel like it's for a lot of people, and for myself personally, and for obviously my team, or the team behind us, we find it very inspirational. It keeps us motivated. It keeps us wanting to go on. I know it sounds very cliche,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but it really does, when you actually see your project out there and see the benefit that is happening, and you've got the people feeding back to you. My words are
Yeah.
escaping me. Ramadan, forgive me.
The fast, it's getting to us. It's getting to us.
But yeah, when the people are saying, it's helping, it's quite heartwarming. The support has been overwhelming. We
No, that's really good.
set ourselves aside. We try to take our consumers on a journey with us. So I don't know if on our YouTube channel you've seen, we did a vlog series 20 days up to launch, how we did what, where we went, how manic it was. You could see quite literally the sprain.
Everything,
Yeah, and
everything.
it was part of making the consumer part of the journey with us, and I think that's what makes the
To,
difference. Maybe
to touch on that actually, because I also noticed this, aside from the company itself and the problem that's out there with the blue light filtering and the rays that are damaging our eyes. Aside from all of that, you're actually an entrepreneur, a business owner along with your husband, and it's quite amazing for Muslims in general, just to see that out there, to say, what, it's possible. It's possible for us to go out there, find anything, find that idea, and reach
yeah,
out and chase our dream.
chase, absolutely. I think another part of it was actually trying to, of myself, is wanting to represent our community, the minorities, the different things, and saying we can do it. We were also, born and brought up in this culture. We were
That's
also,
it. Yeah.
we are here, and we can do the things that you think you can't do. If I can qualify to be an optometrist, I can, make a brand and make something of it. Why not? And I think behind it all is, if you want to, for people who are listening and who really want to go into doing something but are scared,
Yeah.
naturally have a little bit of fear, is if you really want to make a legacy, if you really want to make a benefit, if you really want to, leave a mark, you need to almost swallow that fear and
Yeah.
step into yourself and your mind and own it.
100%.
That's what it is. You just really own it. If it benefits one person, it's done that, and that's fantastic. If it benefits hundreds, that's fantastic. The best people, the great leaders,
Yeah.
most people won't say to you that they were successful on their first try. I will tell, they'll say they've been knocked and knocked and knocked and knocked, but
Yeah.
because others were the priority and the principle
Yeah.
behind, it's made a difference and it's made them the success they are. So
Mashallah.
that's
That's
really
really amazing. Just wanna tune in for new listeners coming in now. This is 87.9. You're listening to Chat to Me with Sulaiman Meer. I'm with Asia Begum. We're just talking about blue light filtering and the harmful effect that it has on our eyes, and some of the symptoms that we don't even know that it causes for us on a day-to-day basis. Sister Asia, I wanted to ask actually, and I wanted to elaborate on something which was on my mind, is how important is it? Like, what is the spectrum of importance? Would you say out of 10, or if it's a percentage out of 100?
Yeah.
What would you say that we should be doing for our kids that are on screens, and whether it's watching TV or at night or in the daytime, or watching a show or watching trains or whatever it might be on a screen? Do you think that it should be kind of made a global thing to add the blue light filtering, not specifically glasses, but just add blue light filtering in general, so that we can avoid our children having sleepless nights, or
Yeah.
etc.
Like, I think we've spoken a little bit about it before, but obviously with the emerging technology in the world, this
Yeah.
is going to be a problem. This is naturally going to be a problem.
Yeah.
We weren't, I say we weren't designed, but we're not used to, our brains are not used to this input or this influx of radiation and wavelengths and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's very important. If I'm honest, I personally think, I've got two young children myself,
Mm.
and they watch whatever Coco Melon or
As
what
much as we try to avoid it, yeah,
had on TV. They,
yeah,
as much as they try, but they do. It's part of their world, if that makes sense. Absolutely, I'd say it's 100% important. It's very important. We need to protect ourselves, our health. At the end of the day, the one thing that I say to my patients to try and get the message across is, your eyes isn't a broken arm.
yeah, you're right.
You can put a cast around maybe,
Yeah,
and hopefully and pray and it'll get better. But if you're damaging or disrupting the effectivity of your eyes, your mental state, your brain, your sleep,
yeah,
these
yeah.
are deeper.
We take it for granted. We
Yeah,
really do. Yeah,
absolutely. We
we
take it
do
for
take it for
granted.
granted.
And with children, it's I mean, in practice now, it's just on the rise. I'm prescribing, I don't know, I can't even count. I'm prescribing more and more, just to say, use it with your screens, use it with your screens, because it's more and more apparent and a part of our lives.
So
So yeah,
you'd recommend it to just the general, obviously just the general user in the day-to-day basis. If you're using a screen,
I would
consider it.
we recommend, we ourselves recommend a few different things. So it's
Okay.
part of yourself. So definitely things like, adjusting your screens, making sure you're not sitting in a place where there's glare, so then obviously that won't affect your eyes. Like I spoke before about the 2020 rule, giving your eyes that break, consciously blinking, having a good healthy diet, lifestyle, honestly makes a difference, because you feel better.
Okay.
You feel better in yourself, you'll be better in yourself. But
Yeah.
yes, then on top of these kind of things, blue light glasses to help reduce any physical or
Yeah.
that's coming off from the
So
paper.
it can affect your mood as well.
Absolutely. I know, and my husband probably won't like me saying this, but yeah, he wasn't the most fun to be around at the time. And it's not to do with him in himself. It's just a case of, he wasn't feeling productive, and it has a knock-on effect on your mood, you
Yeah.
just you feel, your general demeanor, your attitude towards things. You don't want to go to work, you don't feel like it, because
Yeah.
you cannot sleep, or you're not the best version of yourself. And that's
Yeah. So one thing I remember actually, because I'm in IT as well, and I've been in IT for quite a while. Along with doing this, the one thing that companies are now actually doing is they are kind of supporting the worker a lot more. And one of the things, I don't know if you know anything about it, but do people have the option to say to, their employer, um, I would like to have a pair of blue light filtering glasses? Is that an option that you might be aware of, that
at
people are?
the moment I haven't come across that. I
Okay.
think it's something that will become available soon. The thing with blue light is, because it's a relatively new and fast approaching product, if that makes sense, the research behind it, there needs to be more research done behind it,
I see. Okay.
because it's one of those things that is just like the pandemic. It's come all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's come all of a sudden, and we have to respond quite quickly. So that's the same with the blue. It applies to the blue light, because it's a relatively new product. It's a new thing which is affecting us more and more, and we're becoming more and more aware of it. We have to sort of respond quickly. But over time, once we've got the numbers, or once sufficient studies can come out, I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of those things where you can just go to, I mean, you can go to your employer and say, I'd like a pair of VDU, or virtual display unit glasses. So you can
Yeah.
say, I want a pair of screen glasses. So I wouldn't be surprised if a few years down the line, or a few months down the line, you can say, I want a pair of computer glasses
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
with the blue light.
Yeah.
With the blue light, it would make absolute sense. It would make absolute sense. And I don't.
I do remember that one of the employees that I used to work for, they specifically said that, we have to go for eye tests.
Yeah.
And upon doing that, I didn't manage to go into mine. But a lot of people came back and they were saying that, they were they had actually been recommended to get those blue light filtering glasses, and then they just kind of fob it off as like, not really that, not that important. But it sounds like it's something that needs to be made more important. There needs to be a lot more people like you to, push it out there a lot more, and say, you know what, we need to get this. Not, we need to just make people aware.
Yeah,
Um,
what it's all about. Your health at the end of the day comes before anything. I'm sure for
yeah,
most people that's the general rule. Your health, you
it
want to
should be. Yeah,
it should be. So for me as an optometrist, of course, and I'm probably speaking on behalf of all optometrists, is your eyes are part of your health. It's part of your, what they call your MOT, your bloods and your
yeah,
diabetes check and things like that. All of
yeah.
it's part of your MOT.
It's true. Yeah,
Doing, yeah, once these things are taken from you, it's only when we can truly appreciate. So for myself, I have to sometimes say to people, say to patients, you probably won't see as well as you had done before. You
wow.
probably
Yeah,
won't cover that eyes. You probably won't. So why not stop these kind of things before it happens?
absolutely. Yeah,
What a preventative, I say preventative method, but we've got something which helps or supports or is part of that preventative evaluation. So why not implement that
yeah, definitely.
before you're already getting headaches and the migraines and the eye strain? You're already one step ahead. If you're 10 steps ahead, you'll be 10 steps ahead in everything.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's true. My wife actually suffers from migraines and headaches and stuff, and it's funny because until looking into this very recently, I'd never kind of thought it would be. So originally, the reason why I got my glasses was I was just aware of the issue that it could cause, and I wanted to protect my eyes. So I bought a pair of these glasses, and soon enough, because of the quality as well, they break. So you don't end up thinking about getting a new pair. You're just like, you know what, whatever. On my phone though, I've switched my eye comfortness
Yeah.
up to the max. So whenever people look at my phone, they're like, why is your phone yellow? So I've done that, but I definitely need to look into getting a pair of these glasses for my wife, actually, because it's it's something that, she spends a lot of time on in the architecture field, and she's constantly designing on her screen, and something like this is it's a no-brainer, basically. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, I personally would recommend it. I'm actually dare I say, confident that it will make a difference.
Wow.
Yeah,
There you go. So anyone who's listening out there, this is your chance to make a difference and to stop these symptoms if you're having them. Where if you're getting if your eyes are sore, if you're getting headaches or migraines, etc. And the other thing is, if you're in general on this topic as well, it's not only the eyes and the screen. It's actually a positioning, which is I've done some training on as well in the past. It's the positioning of your screen, and how the eye level, just where you sit, and your employer needs to be make you aware of these kinds of things. So you can ask them to send you on a training course, or make you aware, or just to make you aware of how to actually sit at a screen, where your eye level should be. If you need a stand for your laptop, for example, all of these things, they should always be provided. And I'm sure you're aware of this, but it's not just the screen itself. Yeah.
Anybody that's listening and wants to do a quick sort of manual, usually we say 2/3 of the screen is where your eye level should be.
Yeah.
So it's not actually directly in the center. So I'm just moving my head down to show you. It's not actually directly in the center.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's easier for us to look slightly downward than it is for us to look straight ahead or slightly upward. The strain on our muscles are slightly more. We're looking slightly up or slightly straight on. Sorry. So when we have that little bit of what I say, downward gaze, helps the eyelid, if that makes sense. It helps the muscles, and it just makes it more. Unless, of course, you're gaming and you're sort of playing Call of Duty directly into the gun.
What's Call of Duty? No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But no. So where I usually sit is my eye level is just a little bit above the. Say, for example, if you're on a laptop and you've got a webcam, your eye level kind of needs to be a little bit above, so you're kind of looking a little bit down at the screen. It's also about positioning your chair. It's really important to have the right chair as well. A lot of people that I know are still working on their desk, on their dining table, on their dining tables, or sometimes on their sofa, or and also positioning of your mouse as well. If you're working on a mouse and keyboard, it's all of these things are definitely worth looking into, just for your health benefit as well.
A combinational effort in different things that will help people who are using screens for those prolonged hours. One key thing as well that I want to say is particularly in the nighttime.
Okay.
Particularly in the nighttime, and those few hours before you're going to sleep. It's just something that it's at that time where you're stimulating your mind, if that makes sense. Really, you want to sort of relax yourself and calm yourself before you go to bed.
Yeah. It's funny because my brother was telling me about how Salah helps us with that, and it's something that we actually have to consider as well. With Salah, you're actually focusing specifically on a certain point of your prayer mat, or on your carpet, or on your laminated marble flooring, wherever you might have at home, but you're focusing on something specific, and it allows your mind to just kind of come to a rest and be at ease.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but when Salah, you don't look straight ahead, you don't look upwards, you're looking down.
Don't. Yeah. It's true. It's true. Yeah.
Behind the things, I'm not a scholar or anything of the sort.
Of course. Yeah. And it's the irony
behind, things that Allah places in our daily actions for a reason. And I didn't think about it before until I've just said it. Actually, we actually are looking downwards. Of course, in terms of split, we're obviously for haya in front of Allah and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But also in terms of your actual physical well-being.
It's true. Yeah, it's true. You come to the realization of things kind of when you kind of, even without the religious side of things, and if you just look at the actions that we're told to do on a day-to-day basis, things like this come into play, and you're like, wow, actually, this makes complete sense. Sorry, what was that?
You were told to pray, but you had to look up. The strain, you'd have strain on your eyes. Naturally, you'd have that strain. Same.
It's true. No, but I definitely commend you guys for having a startup within COVID. And it's I'm hoping that things carry on going well for you guys, inshallah. I wanted to ask about the name as well. Where did the name actually come from?
A bit of a plug in the dark. So we obviously We wanted something different, unique. I don't know if we've got, like I've spoken about a blog series. We've spoken about the name on that series. So really we wanted it 3 syllable long because it's easiest to say, easiest to
Okay.
say. So things like Google, things like
Okay.
LV. I know it sounds really silly, but that's the marketing side behind it.
Yeah.
We went with the word elevate really, and we were playing around with that word because the idea behind our brand is to elevate oneself, in your appearance, in your mind, in your mental frame, in your productivity, in
Mm.
all aspects. And so we started playing around with that, but we also wanted something unique. We didn't want something which you know, which is already sort of out there, or something. We also didn't want something that's just associated to glasses itself, because the look and the feel of our brand is to do with the individual and actually best progressing the individual. So we
Yeah.
didn't, you'll find companies like sort of you know, glasses direct, things like that, but they focus solely on the product, or the name indicates that the sole basis of that is the product. For us,
Ah, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
company is the individual, it's the consumer. That's where we wanted to stay. So we didn't want to direct attention from actually the core of who we're trying to benefit. It's the individual who comes to our site, it's the individual who wants the glasses. That's the person who's the most important to us. And
I
that's
see.
that. Right. So yeah, we were
Okay.
Elevu, Elevi, Elevi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And we
With
came up with, I mean, it
and
has
we've
a lot of people that love you, leave it, everything. It's always good for
I,
conversation.
I was, to be fair, I was, when I was researching it, I was typing in like LOV meaning,
Yeah,
and I was kind of like, oh, what does this mean? Maybe it means something in like
a
Greek
different
or
language.
Arabic or like in different languages, like trying to find out. So, but thanks for clearing that one up. The other thing I wanted to ask is I think we've had a question come in as well, and someone wanted to know how do you find the time to actually manage a family and a business? I think it's you and Safe, right? From
Yes,
you
yes,
and
yes.
Safe, yeah.
And his business partner, Omar Shahid. So,
Okay.
how do me in particular, obviously being a mother, I've got 2 young
Yeah.
children. I live with in-laws, so I've got a household as well, alhamdulillah. In that sense,
Mhm.
how do we juggle time? If I'm honest, I have no idea. I have no idea. It just happens. Alhamdulillah, my
Okay.
girls are in, I say, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, they're in a routine. So it
Okay.
gives me opportunity, windows of opportunity. And it's about optimizing, capitalizing on those little gaps in my day, which I can do, which obviously previously was probably, I don't know, watching TV. Here we go, sitting on the screen again. But it's not anymore. So it's in between that time. And we're always obviously on the go with this kind of business. We're on Instagram, things like that. We're always on the go. So it's always in the back. It's always playing in the back. But yeah, it's been a roller coaster, and I'm sure it's only going to go higher and higher, hopefully, inshallah. But yeah,
Inshallah, yeah.
the thing is, it depends on your motive to wake
Can we
up and say, you know, I just don't have the time for this. But nothing great comes from ease, if that makes sense. The ease comes after the struggle. The ease comes after you've put in the effort, and you know it's
absolutely,
going
yeah.
to. If you want to make a change, if you want to make a difference, if you want to be that difference, you'll have to go through the hurdles. And in my case, it's time management.
But
It's actually finding
it's
doing it.
mashallah, it's amazing that you've actually found a product that actually not only benefits yourself personally, but you know, not even nationally, internationally, for anyone around the world that actually wants to benefit from you know, keeping their eyes safe, as well as you know, having the trend. Those were questions from Aisha, by the way, about you know, managing a business. So I
A lot
think
of the time,
we
sorry, just touching
sorry, no,
on,
no, go for it.
a lot of the time with that is when you have, I say, dare I say, but inshallah, if you have the correct intention behind what you do, Allah will place barakah in your time. I
Yeah,
found this through, I don't know how, but when I was sitting my exams, same things. How do you prep for an exam, you know, a few weeks before? Allah just places the barakah in your time, because your daily activities will still continue. The world's still going round, but
yeah,
you still, actually, it's on that topic. Ramadan happens to be, for some reason, such a packed time, but such a free time at the same time.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
it's a
Because everyone's everyone. Yeah,
paradox I live in. I suddenly have all the time in the world and no time at all.
Mm.
If that makes sense.
The month of
Because
frying, as my dad
when
calls it.
you have that intention, when you have the motivation, the inspiration, and you have the right intention behind it, Allah places that barakah in your time.
Definitely, yeah.
And definitely capitalizing, like I said, on windows of opportunity, knowing your goals, knowing what's realistic, what's feasible, what you can do, what you can't do, what's tomorrow's job. My husband is very great at this, and he'll probably shout at me for giving away his secrets. No, I'm sure he won't. Actually plans the day ahead beforehand, prioritizes what's important, prioritizes the top 3 tasks you need to do tomorrow, make sure those things are complete. Then you have your supplementary, just like your prayer. You have your obligatory prayer, you know what you've got to do. Then you have your supplementary prayers. So it's that same principle, implementing those things into your daily routine, and suddenly you'll find your time is actually optimized, because you might have all the time in the world, but it needs to be optimized time.
Yeah, I think we can all take a leaf out of your both of your books.
Really, it's all him.
Or the book of, or the book itself, if you don't mind. So, but no, we really appreciate you coming on, spending the time with us to talk about Elev and just in general the actual issues that blue light rays can actually cause us. Jazakallah khair. Guys, listeners, thank you for listening to me. I'm Sulaiman Meer. This is Asia Begum. You're listening to Ramadan Radio 87.9. Till next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.